Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking another look here at Ethereum, seeing what's going on here. It's looking pretty solid though. As per usual, we saw this nice little retest of this local support turned, basically previous resistance turned support. And we got in about 1975 was our average position for our long. And we essentially secured profits, I think it was at 2075. So yeah, we've got some nice profits there. Just kind of throwing it out there, letting you know that the best strategy in situations like this is to wait for a bullish backtest. And we should do the same thing here as well. Hypothetically, a long at about 2050, 2060 seems sensible. But once more, just shooting from the hip. We don't know that just yet. Just kind of throwing it out there as far as how the transitions occur. Local highs become new lows. That's the general consensus. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at there. Let's take a look at the back-end liquidation data first. Go from there. I want to say thank you again for just being an amazing part of my life too. Gotten tons of wonderful feedback here recently, not just for the signals, but for the consistent analysis. And it's just something I love doing. So I hope you understand and can take what I say with a grain of salt. Sometimes I'll be a little sarcastic and try to educate. And for the most part, I just want to make sure that people don't get destroyed by moon boys, right? So that's the whole point. Hit the like button if you could, please. Don't forget to do that every single time you watch my videos. 2100 to about 2200 is that local resistance range. Not because it's liquidation, but liquidation is based on resistance. So we're going to be able to look at the charts and see that there's some confluence at 2100. But the simple way to understand it here is this local area of liquidation at about 2075 to 2100 has since been swept. Okay, so the distinct probability we go further up here just because macro liquidation to the upside still exists. And even though there's a lot at that 1750 mark, I really don't think we're going to see that that $1,800 to $1,900 range for Ethereum was super strong. Same thing here as well. We can see liquidation delta is upwards about 2.5 to 3 billion. Anytime you have liquidation delta significantly higher than short liquidation delta, basically long versus short, it implies sustainability. So the likelihood of the price staying in this current range and going higher is better, mostly because Bitcoin is breaking bullish and exuding the same behavior, but also because this coin held really well at that $2,000 mark before it continued higher up. So awesome stuff. That's why patience pays off, folks. Some people were asking over the weekend, should we close our Ethereum long position? The short answer is no. Obviously, you saw my comment, but generally speaking, you want to wait for confirmation. And sometimes weekends are just kind of really, really ugly conditions to want to consider taking a trade. Anyways, points of control here, open interest locally, 2025 and 1975. So you average that out, what do you know? 2000 is right in the middle. So basically that $2,000 range is a good solid support still. If we do see the price end up pulling back, it'd be safe to presume that 1950 to 2000 will hold. But we have a lot of open interest at 1975 and 2025, and those are very, very good signs. What isn't a good sign, you just got to recognize this too, just because we're tentatively bullish on this coin, it means that we want to be tentatively bullish on it. We don't just attach ourselves to the premise that we're going to go to the moon now because we had one good day or a good week, right? Now, granted, we have good money flow index, a lot of volume flowing in at that lower price point of 1900. But the simple takeaway here is we still haven't broken our lower high pattern on the macro, which really implies that we could see that retest, but we're going to probably see some resistance there, and we don't want to jump in too early here. Okay, we haven't even broken bullish here yet either. Keep in mind, Bitcoin is exuding good behaviors ever since February 10th or 2nd rather. We've seen under 50 in the RSI, and every time we retest that level, we've rejected out. Okay. Simple way to understand it, we've finally broke the descending trend line for Bitcoin. That should follow suit here for Ethereum, but we're still not there yet. So please recognize, just because we're one day above the 20-day SMA doesn't mean we're back on track. We've seen it happen time and time again where we get above the 20-day SMA and the price just rips right back down. Okay, so please note that. We're still very premature for just saying, going long to the metaphorical moon. If you hear anybody say go to the moon or taking longs to the moon today, I think you should be very careful in how much content of theirs that you consume. I'm only saying that simply because there's a logic that needs to be applied to trading, and emotions don't belong. Most people that say things are going to go to the moon, they're either idiots or they're thinking with their heart. You don't think with your heart if you've done any type of dating in your life. Anyways, conversation for another day. The whole point here is, don't marry the charts. All right. Oh man, I'm off track. I'm sorry. Either way you look at it. Let's go ahead and double check the 4-hour time frame. We're over 70 in the RSI. That's an overextension. MACD's converging. We've got tons of confirming factors here letting us know that further upside is more likely. So, if you're going to err on the side of caution, recognize the price should go up here soon. or continue higher soon, just note that we got a lot of resistance moving forward. Okay, and the simple way to understand that, or just the key takeaway here, is our previous support range at about 2200 is going to be a new resistance. That's our previous point of control. So between here and 2200, I think the price will continue to fluctuate. It may come as low as 2000 to bounce. It may go up to 2200 and reject, but we're still under a descending trend line. The 200-day SMA, we're not quite there yet, but this is very, very good starts and a likelihood of further continuation. Okay, Ichimoku Cloud, hourly time frame confirming all good things here. There's no reason to consider shorting this coin. In fact, we have a smaller time frame bullish type of flag pattern here, which typically breaks to the upside. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more squeeze here to the upside to really put the pressure on those late shorts. But me personally, I'd much rather wait for a retest of the local high, which here, 2060 is the local high. That would be a consideration for a long if you're going to consider one. Okay. Or secondary to that, once more, these open interest areas, 2025, 2000, or 1975. Cool. I don't know if we're going to see that necessarily though, folks. So make sure you average into your position and just be very careful and cautious in how you trade right now. It's nice to have a good day, but in the last 2 months worth of trading, good days often turn into really bad days to follow. So just be mindful of that. Okay. Cool. Awesome. So other than that, make sure you check out Bitunix too, folks. $8,000 in benefit rewards. Use my link to register. They have monthly trading competitions and bonuses. No KYC or VPN. They're a phenomenal exchange. That's our highly recommended exchange here for our community. Also, be sure to check out our playout charts on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. It's all available there for you too. I hope you learned something today. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.